Hallo miteinander, I'm Gashady6 and this is Blackthorne. Once again we're roaming through the desert, fighting off the Grags, and well, just overall fulfilling our destiny. In the past I've made out the Sands of Sorrow as a pretty unimpressive place, but it is actually quite important for the history of Tool. So without further ado, let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, the land of Tool was just reigned by one nation, and at the head of this nation was a high priest. This high priest would always be succeeded by his eldest son. However, the high priest Thoros had twin sons, so neither of them was older than the other, and to find out who the better leader would be, the people of Tool made a lot of tests with them. A lot of trials, if you want. Now, both sons were always equal in these trials. They just could not determine a leader. So, as a last resort, High Priest Thoros brought both of his sons with him on a journey to the Sands of Sorrow. Now, on this journey, the father vanished. Only the sons made it back home, but each of them had a stone with them. One had a light stone, and the other had a dark stone. They claimed that the father gave them these stones before he disappeared. Now at this point, pretty much the people of Tool were divided. Half of the people followed the one son with the light stone, and the other followed the bearer of the dark stone. And that is how, in the end, the nations of Androth and Kadrasul were formed. Obviously, Blackthorne is now the bearer of the light stone, and Sarlac is the one in possession of the dark stone. And that is how we have this war now. Because some old geezer just couldn't decide who to give his kingdom to which son. Kind of a bummer, isn't it? I bet the bad son was also an obvious villain with a spiky mustache and a black cape. So yeah, nice going there, Thoros. Nice going. Now coming up in this stage is a little gauntlet where we basically just always have to run. After opening this barrier, go for it and don't stop, just make it past this barrier. You will find out later why you should do this now. It's the easiest if you do it like that. I know there were items you saw there and other paths, but we're on the right track, don't worry. Now, stage 11 is not a long stage overall, but it can be pretty annoying. And one of the reasons why it is annoying is coming right up. One room further. See all the Grags in this room? These Grags are placed in a really mean manner. You pretty much go into this room and you're trapped immediately. You're pretty much at the mercy of these guys, so select a potion beforehand and kind of just tank the hits. There's really nothing you can do, I think. Luckily, these Grags are always laughing when they're hitting you, so you can retaliate. Silly Grags. Didn't they learn that in military school? You should check for vitals before you're gloating. Because of that fact, they're dead now. I bet they felt so stupid at the end. This guy up here is not as much of a problem, but these two down there, as you saw, they wrecked me pretty good. It's not too bad now, you have a good amount of potions for this level. Now in this area that we just went into are the most important items for this stage. We need 3 key items to finish the level, and one is coming right up. We have a Grag with wasps. Man, that wasp or bee was pretty durable, wasn't it? I bet it was the bee's knees. Yeah. we can move on to wreck this guy up there after taking care of this rock monster. Man, that one hit me pretty bad there. It's like a rolling pin going over a bit of Dow, with us as the Dow. Not pleasant at all. So as I've said, we have 3 key items. 2 of them are around here. This guy shouldn't be a big problem. You know those rock monsters, or rock beasts? I call them all kinds of names. Rock monster, sand beast, sand monster. The correct term is rock beast. There's even one that I call Gary, even though that's not his name. It's Bob. Oh, this room. You know why I just kind of skipped this room? Because it's annoying. Do it like me and just run through it. Man, all these eagers around here. You think it is like an eager farm where we're at. Why would they farm eagers? They're ugly and disgusting. But then again, the Gregs aren't really beauty queens themselves, are they now? So, I guess whatever fits. Let's take out the ones to the left, just for good measure. No real point in doing it. In this room is another elevator to call. Remember that you can, in a way, use elevators to break the game. In my test run, I actually forgot about that and took on these 2 Gregs up here in pretty much a vanilla fashion. That was a big mistake. Took quite a beating there, but that is not important. Once again, we have this thing at our disposal, so we use it as the tool of death and despair that it is. Takes a good while, but it's worth it. Now to the left is a room that is pretty self-explanatory. Rock beast, just kill it. Hey Gary, how you doing? Now, this guy, of course, has an item. I mean, why else would he be here? He has a bridge key. We need this bridge key pretty much at the start of the level. We haven't actually been to the room with a bridge, but it is the second key item of the level. Guess what? After beating this guy, we basically have to backtrack quite a bit. So that means we have to go through this one room that I skipped again. We'll probably get groped by an eaker again in the course of that, but what can you do? Poor Blackthorne, I bet he feels so violated. Not fun. Not only is he getting groped, but also shot in the back. But we've made it through, we can forget about that room for all time. Now I'm gonna do another little jump cut. Be right back. Back to the room with the barrier. You can't miss it, believe me. Now we have to inspect this part of the level more closely. The reason why I went through it so easily the first time was because I wanted to have those breakaway platforms still intact. Basically, getting through it when they're gone is much more annoying, because you'll probably miss one of those jumps and it's not easy to get through that barrier then. Oh, this Androthi. We saw him before, but we couldn't have reached him. He has another iron key. We have 2 iron keys now, the one we picked up a few seconds before, and that iron key is the last key item of this level. We have to use one right here anyway, so just so we can get back to the start of the level. Now if you do the math, you'll notice that failing to get through that barrier that we've gotten through before basically sends you back quite a bit. It's really annoying, and if you're not used to that, you will probably have a lot of walking in front of you. Luckily we didn't. Up here is where you have to use the wasps. An item that we've gotten fairly early in the level. We don't need the second one. Now let's destroy these eekers. You don't have to if you don't have a firebomb. You can make that jump if you take a running start, but we don't have to. Now the rest of the level is pretty much just using key items to advance. Except for one little room. That room is more than meets the eyes. Just like Transformers, just with less robots and without Shia LaBeouf, thank God. That rock monster there, not of any importance. Now, see the Scrag there? He's quite tough to deal with because he's at the edge of the platform. However, you can be smart about it. You can bring the fight to his own turf, and you should. However, you should be careful about that, because that pit there, fall down it and it's instant death. Luckily we've gotten behind him and we're pretty much done with the level. We have the iron key that we need, and that is the last room before the finish. We get to an elevator to the next stage. We've gotten through this one rather smoothly, haven't we? Well, next one is a tough one. I'm Gish86, this was Blackthorne. Bis bald!